Okay. Third time lucky. Okay. Will I start again and keep going?
Keep going. Just.
I keep going. Back in the mid-1990s, Ireland became part of the industrial hemp community, allowed to grow hemp under license from our Department of Health. Teagasc is our Agricultural and Food Development Authority and Advisory Board. They conducted trials with over 3 years with most of the European cultivars that are on the EU list, and with very promising results. The trials involved growing from early March, even late February to June, and comparing yields of the different varieties planted at different stages and also different densities. It was very apparent that industrial hemp was very suitable to Irish climatic conditions and environment. We had yields up to 16 tons an acre with crops that were planted early, and even at crops planted in June we were touching 8-9 tons an hour of industrial hemp, dry matter yield. Teagasc began to explore markets for industrial hemp and different ways to harvest hemp and bale it and process it. Part of their work involved using forage harvesters to chop hemp up small enough so it could be used to make medium density fiberboard. We have 2 manufacturers of MDF board in Ireland, and trials were carried out in both factories. MDF board with 30% hemp was produced successfully, and it was decided that in the future, if enough hemp was grown, we could replace a good portion of MDF board with hemp rather than wood waste. Industrial hemp was continued to be trialled up until today, on and off. Not every year, but on and off. At this same time, I myself started up a company called Hemp Ireland Limited, and we were a company based in Northern Ireland. At the time, there was a peace process going on in Ireland between Ireland and Britain, and we were kind of right in the middle of it. We were based near Hillsborough Agricultural Research Institute, where all the talks were going on. There we also conducted a number of trials growing industrial hemp. We introduced hemp to the north of Ireland. We trialled hemp crops over a number of locations in Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, growing at different times and using different densities and different hemp cultivars. We trialled a number of different forms of ways to harvest hemp, and different ways to ret hemp and degum hemp, different ways to decorticate hemp, and also the downstream processing of carding hemp and turning it into sliver and yarn. Our company was based in an old flax mill where a lot of machines still existed, carding machines and hemp softeners and so forth, also big retting tanks. We also, one of the directors, Steve Adam, had trialled some hemp construction previously. He imported some binder materials and hemp wood core materials from France back in '94, I think it was, and very successfully insulated a couple of rooms in his house. We also worked with a number of organizations to use our hemp fiber with polypropylene to make hemp fiber composites. This work from Hemp Ireland Limited was very useful for the future. A lot of support was given at the time by a number of organizations in terms of funding. We had a small amount of leader funding, which is from Europe. We had from Hillsborough, they carried out a lot of work for us for growing hemp and retting hemp. And at Lone Institute of Technology, with their composite department, created some composites for us. We developed some prototypes for stripping the leaves and flowers and seeds from standing crops of industrial hemp. You can see here, behind it is a completely green hemp crop, and here you can see it's completely stripped. We now have extended conveyors to our defoliating machine that can go across and transfer all the stripped hemp leaf, flower, seed material to tractors and trailers running side by side. So this leaf and flower seed material is most important for food and medicinal use. We also developed prototypes for decortication for fresh green hemp crops and dry crops and retted crops. In the Irish climate, we are not able to ret on the ground. We have a lot of moisture in the air and a lot of rain the whole time. Therefore, we realized we must deal with hemp straight away, otherwise we could lose the hemp. We also realized harvesting hemp can be quite difficult, so we might need some specialist harvesting machinery. So we developed prototypes of all of these types of machines. When our company stopped trading, Steve Allen, who was always very interested in hemp construction, went on to build houses out of hemp in Ireland and retrofit hemp houses in Ireland with Irish hemp materials and imported hemp materials and his own binder systems, and became very astute at this type of work. He spread the word in Ireland and other companies got involved. Now we have a number of companies working with hemp construction in Ireland and doing very well. Steve also made some books, wrote a book back then and has a second edition now, and in 2009 held the first International Hemp Building Symposium in Kinmare in Ireland. That was the result of this was the establishment of the International Hemp Building Association. Basically, everyone involved in hemp construction around the world attended the symposium, and it was very successful. And
do you hear me?
Yes?
Yeah, we don't see your screen again, so I don't know, maybe you stopped sharing or...
Oh, no, I haven't. I don't know why it's gone off screen. You can't see my presentation.
No, just the first slide, it stopped, so maybe you...
Have you not been...
Start again.
Have you not been on the other...
Stop
Sure.
and start.
I go back some slides. Have you seen any of the slides?
Just the first.
You've only seen the first slide?
I'm afraid, yes.
Oh my goodness. You can't see this slide.
Yeah,
The second slide there, no?
No. Stop sharing and start again. Maybe it will...
Jeez. You can't see my slide?
Now the first, yes. Try to... now we see, yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Now
Okay.
we see again.
It's gone?
No, it's always the first. Try to second.
You still can't see. I'm going through the all here and I can see them all fine.
No, we don't see. Now yes, now it's...
You can see it now?
Yes, I think yes.